Since today is Rosh Chodesh, and we are lucky this year that we have 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. Today is Lamed, tomorrow is Aleph. And I explained before, and many times also, that Rosh Chodesh is a Black Friday. So for the non-Americans, Black Friday is a day that Americans will kill each other for a flat screen TV. And what happens is that you can buy everything for 90% off, 80% off. I mean, now other countries already are copying this whole Black Friday. But the idea is, the Americans didn't invent coupons, by the way. I told you already, I lived in America for 17, 18 years. I found a lot of sense in many things that they do there, but I didn't figure out one thing. That every time there's a holiday, there's a sale. So 4th of July, shop all you can. Veterans Day, 90% off. Right? So why? When somebody died 400 years ago, now you're giving me a free mattress? What's the common sense behind this thing? So of course, it's an auspicious time, then we want to give you an opportunity to spend money. But the Americans didn't invent coupons, Hashem invented coupons. And Hashem invented auspicious times where it's hard to achieve something, and most times, then Hashem says, I'll give you certain days where you have a loophole, that the access is easier. As we all know, that in the month of Elul, we are much more closer to Hashem. He's more accessible. As the term goes, HaMelech Basadeh, the king is in the field. Like when the king is in the palace, you can't go into the palace, but when he's walking around, you can approach the king. So Hashem set it up in a way that there are always going to be loopholes where you can tap in and receive something with not much effort. And one of these days is Rosh Chodesh. Of course, the bigger ones is Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, and a very common one is every Shabbat, by the way. Erev Shabbat, Friday afternoon in the twilight time, this is a very auspicious time for tshuva. That's why there are many different customs that many people will do, because that's a very auspicious time to reach to tshuva. You know, Hashem is already wearing his Shabbat clothes, the chunt is on the blech. It's a good time to come and do tshuva. But Rosh Chodesh is specifically done as a Zman Kapara, a time of atonement. I explained a few times that we have 3 festivals, and each festival we received in the merit of one of the forefathers. So we have Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avraham, if you remember the whole story, that when the angels came to Avraham Avinu, then Sarah went to the tent, they made the whole gourmet meal. So the Midrash says it was Pesach. And he told Sarah, go and make matzot. So in the merit of that, we got the holiday of Pesach. If you remember the story with Yitzchak, that was almost gave as a sacrifice on the altar, and then Avraham Avinu saw the ram, slaughtered the ram, took the horn. The other horn is going to be used to announce the coming of Mashiach very soon. Eliyahu Navi will probably blow it. And so the merit of Yitzchak, because of that, we got the holiday of Shavuot. Right? When the horns were blown at the time of Matan Torah. And Yaakov, if you remember, when he went out of Haran with approximately 6 million sheep, then the text says that he built Sukkot for the sheep. In the merit of Yaakov, we got the holiday of Sukkot, the festival of Sukkot. So we got 3 festivals in the merit of 3 forefathers. But then it says that originally, we were supposed to get another 12 holidays in the merit of the 12 tribes. But since they sinned in the golden calf, then that was cancelled. So the Roshei Chodeshim, the time of Rosh Chodesh, was supposed to be a holiday in the merit of each tribe. But they made a little mistake, just idolatry, nothing too big to get excited from. So for that, they lost the merit, and of course I'm saying it's sarcastic, don't take me serious for 1 second, chas v'shalom. It's a big sin, the golden calf. But because of that, we lost the merit of Rosh Chodesh. Since the women did not participate in the sin of the golden calf, so they got kind of like a little extra power or an extra merit on Rosh Chodesh. So women usually, they should not do any type of work on Rosh Chodesh, labor. They are restricted in working hard on that day or at all. But nevertheless, we lost the power of Rosh Chodesh being as a festival. Can you imagine having a festival once a month? But we do have some Kedusha, Yetera, in addition Kedusha in Rosh Chodesh. The fact is that it's a very holy day, Rosh Chodesh. Some great Mekubalim, they wear Shabbat clothes. You see, I'm wearing my nice suit today. Not that I call myself a Mekubal, by the way. I'm just saying, it's a auspicious time to wear a nice suit. But we make a Rosh Chodesh meal. So down Rosh Chodesh. So that's why I forced you to say Birkat Hamazon today. You know what it means to have a Suda in Rosh Chodesh? And then to say Birkat Hamazon in a minyan. This is like a sacrifice. So we have to take the entire day as a festive day. With that said, since with this year we have 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, then we have double power. Double power where we can reach atonement. So we're going to open now the Siddur where we pray Tfilat Musaf every Rosh Chodesh. And I just want to quote a few words so we can take something from it. After we say the intro of the Tfilah, which is identical to all the Tfilot, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, you know all that. Then we come to the main part of the Tfilah. The Tfilah, the prayer is always broken into segments. So the segment right after the intro, we're going into the prayer itself. So it starts by saying, Rashei Chodashim le'amecha natata. Heads of month to your nation you have given. Some mitzvot all mankind share, and some mitzvot are only for the Jews. And not because necessarily we're better or we're worse, but we were appointed by the Master of the universe to do certain actions. The same way that we have in the nation of the Jews, Kohanim, priests, you know that from the 613 mitzvot, a large amount of them are just for Kohanim. We can't even do that. So how do I fulfill all 613 mitzvot? First of all, I can do it in thought and speech. Second of all, I financially support the Kohanim. I participate in the mitzvah. I appoint them as a messenger. Like when a father needs to circumcise his child, how many fathers circumcise the child? You know that the mitzvah is for the father. He doesn't know how to do it, so he takes a knife and he calls Samuel and says, I appoint you to be my shaliach, my representer, if that's how you would say it. A representative. So same thing here. I can go to the Kohen with a goat and say, listen, I don't know how to sacrifice. I don't have even access to the altar. You do it for me. But a large amount of the mitzvot are just for Kohanim. So, what do you take from that? That even in the nation we have some type of an hierarchy that the Kohanim, the priests, are able to do a certain job and we not. And the Levim, they have their job. So we are the priests of the entire world. That's why it says in the Torah, you can find it in Parashat Yitro, right before we're receiving the Torah, V'ayitem li mamlechet kohanim ve'goy kadosh. You should be for me a nation of priests and a holy goy. Goy means body. It's not a derogatory word what many people think that goy is some filth. Goy means body. Comes from the word in Hebrew, gviya. Gviya is a body that doesn't have a soul in it. So goy, we're all goyim. It says in our tefillin even, goy kadosh. Kadosh, many will translate as holy. Kadosh means separated. I separated from here to here. So we are the priests of the world. So we have the holiday of Rosh Chodesh. So it says, Rashei Chodashim Lamcha Natata. You have given heads of months, Rashei Chodashim, to your nation. But look at the words. If you have a Siddur, look in the Siddur. If not, imagine the words in your mind. It says, Rashei Chodashim Le'amcha. It's an acronym. Rashei, the first letter is Reish. The next word, Chodashim, the first letter is Chet. The third word is Le'amecha, to your nation. The first letter is Lamed. So you get an acronym of Reish, Chet, Lamed. Rachel. So now we're not going to have time to explain the Kabbalistic meaning of Rachel, but already we know that when we say a word in an acronym, then like I mentioned before, there are ways to meditate on combinations of letters and you can achieve something. So what is the main quality of Rachel? Imenu? Verachel mevaka al banea. She cries on her kids, on her offsprings. So Rachel is the epiphany of Rachamim, of mercy. So we start the tefillah by me saying, Rashei Chadashim La'amcha Natata. In the spiritual constellation, I am putting together all the Rachamim of the Kadosh Baruch Hu. I'm using basic words, but I don't understand what's going on in the world above. This is a code for the world above, that I open a basin of Rachamim, of mercy. And then it continues and says, Zman kapara lechol toldotam. A time of atonement. Lechol toldotam, toldot goes all the way back, which means I can hit an atonement. I don't know if I should say hit. I can achieve. I need you every class, by the way. You need to sit in front of me. I'm sure there are people behind the screen saying, what is he saying? What? So we can achieve. I wasn't actually trying to say achieve, by the way. When I said hit, tap into, not even tap into. It's like when you hit a nerve. You know what I mean? When you hit a nerve, so we can hit a nerve by the right intention. That's why I said hit. So anyways, I'm thinking in Hebrew, talking in English, and waving my hands. So it says, Man kapara lechol toldotam. A time of atonement for all generation. Which means that I can do now tshuva, and it will go backwards. It will hit a nerve, toldotam, to something that came before me. I mean, after all, we're trying to do tshuva for our previous generations. If we're talking about the spies, Korach, whatever. I mean, a lot of people question, how can you do tshuva for somebody else? But I told you already many times, we are cleaning the mess. But if here I look at the text and I see Zman kapara lechol toldotam, a time of atonement for all generations back, then I take this serious. Okay? Now it continues, it says, Biyotam makrivim lefanecha zivchei ratzon. When can they reach this time of atonement? At the moment when they sacrifice, a sacrifice of, not a ratzon will be the acceptance. Because Cain came with a sacrifice to Hashem. Hashem looked at this and says, are you kidding me? Why do you bring me a few rotten potatoes? And it says in the Torah, "Velo sha'a el minchato shel Cain." Hashem didn't even turn around. He saw this. He says, come on, do me a favor. And he turned around to the sacrifice of heaven. So I can bring sacrifices to Hashem. Doesn't mean He's going to accept it. Now, I know when I'm saying the word sacrifice, you're imagining a goat or a bull on an altar. You know, you sitting here right now, you're sacrificing your time, because you could have been now at home, around a pool, sitting in a bar, in a restaurant, walking through Fifth Avenue. If you're not in a quarantine, it's a sacrifice. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to pray, that's a sacrifice. You're now doing an act of kindness, you're helping somebody to carry something today, that's an act, it's a sacrifice. So we don't have goats right now to put on an altar, but I can sacrifice my time. But it has to be lefanecha, to Hashem, zivchei ratzon. It has to be accepted by the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you can't fool Him. You can't be bribed. Useir chatat lechaper ba'adam. Seir is a goat. Chatat is the type of sacrifice. Lechaper ba'adam, to atone for them. And of course, then it continues. I'm not going to go through more of that. This is enough. This is sufficient. What's the goat? In Hebrew, a goat is ez. Ez can be also read as oz or azut. Azut is, in a negative way, is chutzpah. I don't know how you translate chutzpah in English. 15 years I'm giving lectures. I don't know how you say chutzpah in English. There's no such a word. Maybe just the Jews do it. I don't know. Chutzpah is chutzpah. I think even the non-Jews knows what chutzpah.
Rudeness.
It's more than rudeness. It's worse than rudeness. Audacity. Listen, I checked Oxford. I checked Google. There's no word for chutzpah. But we'll use now audacity, rudeness, and being fresh, it's all together. This is azut. How many times we do that in front of the Kadosh Baruch Hu? With things that, you know what, sometimes you don't even know that you're doing. You know that according to Shulchan Aruch, according to the Torah, you have to be modest at all time. You can't walk around the house in your underwear. Hashem is there. My 3-year-old sings, Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is really everywhere. So, what?
Not when you're in your underwear.
So, exactly, this is azut. I see it as azut, chutzpah. I think Hashem needs to see your tuchas. That's what I tell my little girls when they're, not 100% more. I tell them, well, you think Hashem wants to see your tuchas? Cover yourself. So this is one out of many. But when I mock another person and I disregard somebody else's honor or their existence or whatever it is, that's azut. The full term is called azut metzach. Why metzach? Oh, that's a whole deep drasha. Metzach is a forehead. But azut is chutzpah. And how many times we treat Hashem with chutzpah? Sometimes I see people walking to the shul. If you do it yourself, then first of all, don't do it, but don't get offended. But don't do it. Some people come into the shul, they slam the tefillin on the table. Wah! What are you doing? This is a holy thing. You're throwing the tefillin.
On the chair too. Terrible.
And then you see people dragging on the floor their tzitzit, their strap of the tefillin. You know what the Ben Ish Chai says? That if you throw your strap of the tefillin on the floor, it's like you slapped Hashem in his face. Put it on the table. How many times I told you, your tzitzit is on the floor? This is called bizayon la mitzvah. It's a mitzvah. Why are you dragging the tzitzit on the floor? So almost everything that we do that is coming with this chutzpah, it's called azut. Now that we want to get kapara, we want to get rachamim from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the tshuva has to be for the chutzpah. Kadosh Baruch Hu is not my friend. He's not my buddy that I high five with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He's the master of the universe. Can you imagine the slap to the face when I behave in this disgusting behavior? So you use your imagination. Were you doing this azut? I can give you now 50 other examples. One thing that bothers me the most is when it's in a shul. People throw their talit, throw their tefillin. Sometimes I walk into some people's, I see how they put books on each other. There's a way. The other day I even told you, there's a hierarchy how you put books. So Chumash is the highest of all because that's the Torah. So you can't put a Siddur, a prayer book, on a Chumash. Because a Siddur is a prayer book. There's no words of Torah. Okay, so there's Ktuvim there, but Ktuvim is the third from the Tanakh, so that will be on the lowest. There's a way how you pile books. And there's, of course, some books are very, very holy. So, of course, you can get dressed in front of the books. Dressed, undressed. Some people go with their tefillin into the mikveh. Why are you bringing tefillin into the mikveh? Men are naked here. What are you doing? No, I'm afraid it's going to be stolen. So don't bring it. So you use your imagination how many times you behave in azut metzach, in chutzpah to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And by the way, it's not directly to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. If I treat you like a piece of garbage, that's also chutzpah. Hashem will say, wait a minute, it's my child. Why are you behaving like this to another person? So we have to get rid of this chutzpah in us, this rudeness in us. And we're all rude, by the way. Don't think that, one in a blue moon is very polite, calm, soft-spoken. This is like a flower in the desert when you find a person like that. There are some people like that. The majority of people are very rude. Pushing in lines, cutting in the street, waving hands, and that's rudeness. So what I want to take from that, and that's a big part of our tikkun, first of all, take advantage of these 2 days. Rosh Chodesh is a powerful day. It's a powerful day for prayer, for tshuva, to do mitzvot, to take on myself a lot of good decisions. Okay, from now on, I'm going to stop with this, start with that. But it's a time of atonement. So at the time of Shacharit, when we're praying Musaf, this only works in Musaf. It's not going to work in Mincha and Arvit. During the time of Musaf, take a deep breath. Don't rush to the prayer. And say, wait a minute, let me concentrate for a second. I don't remember exactly what I did, but I'm asking you, Hashem, okay, activate some mercy here. Activate this Rashei Chadashim Lamcha Natata. Rachel opens the vault of Rachamim. And then I want to receive an atonement. Now, more than that, who was real chutzpan and arrogant? Spies, Korach, and all the rest of the gang. There was chutzpah there. Can you imagine standing in front of Moshe and arguing with him? Why do you argue with the man who brought us to the Torah? Same with the spies and so forth. So when we're trying to reach a kapara, zman kapara lechol toldotam, toldotam means who brought me to this world? I don't know, maybe I am a descendant of Korach. You think I know? You think you know? Who are you a descendant of? We don't know. Some people know. More or less they can connect. The point to take from here, this is an auspicious time, and we have to understand that already we did one shacharit, so we have another shacharit tomorrow. And regardless to Rosh Chodesh, we got to get rid of that. Person cannot be rude. That's why I told you in the morning, the first has to be noach, comfortable, easygoing, not judgmental, no arrogance, no anger. That it's a very comfortable person to deal with. Some people are almost impossible to deal with. And some people are just very easygoing, comfortable to deal with. That's when you get rid of the rudeness. Now you cannot be close to the Kadosh Baruch Hu and you cannot do proper tshuva if that's the way you behave. End of story. I don't have to elaborate more on that. Just to wish you good luck in your new journey and you focus on your behavior. Focus on it. The point is to focus on what I'm saying. It's not to go like this. Everybody's nodding. I told you already, I had a dashboard chihuahua from Taco Bell that used to nod. You have to internalize what I'm saying and say, okay, let me recognize the rudeness in me. Don't take personal what I'm about to say, but if I'm teaching or any other rabbi is teaching and you're disturbing the class, there's rudeness in there. To the teacher and to the students. And again, I'm not putting anybody on the spot. I'm just telling you that you have examples. Okay, what is rude? I'm not rude. I'm a very nice person. No, you're not. You may be 90% nice, 10% is not, so you have to work on the 10%. Not putting everybody down. I'm just saying I'm now focusing on the negative, not on the positive. So 80% you're kind and nice, 20% you're not. And we all have it. Because he's not from my congregation, because he's not from my school or from my neighborhood. And I just see, sometimes I just look at people interact and I'm like, Shem Erachem, how we treat each other. Disrespect, disregard, like as if the person doesn't exist. You have to change that. Fast. Everything has to be done fast. That's how we soften the Kadosh Baruch Hu. He doesn't like when we don't work together. So take everything that I say, apply it, and Be'ezrat Hashem will be able to receive this kapara, this time of atonement, and it should happen sweet, simple, fast. And like we spoke before, that we should already, because of this action, receive already the merit to slaughter the red heifer and reach to the ultimate level of Kedusha.